Well, here we have a whole host of Cucumis metuliferus, African horned melons growing down the paddock. Is that wind going to bother my film now? I planted dozens of seeds. They'll just have to thin themselves out, probably to half a dozen plants or something. They can thin themselves out, they can work it out amongst themselves. They're growing well, aren't they? And what's that blue flower? That's from Africa too. That's a Plumbago. That's what it is. Isn't it beautiful? They can be two African little friends together. That's a Plumbago from the Cape region of Africa. Isn't it lovely? So beautiful. Gorgeous. But back to my horned melons. Growing very well. I have to water them every day, of course, in this heat. They're supposed to come from the Kalahari region, but the Kalahari region must be a wet place compared to here, because these need water every day, or they just shrivel up in the end. Let's have a closer look at them. There's that pretty Plumbago, and it's got African horned melon vine climbing around it. There's the tendrils. You can see they're just cucurbits. They're just a type of cucumber, aren't they? That's all they are. Look at my fingernails. Why am I always got dirty fingernails when I'm making films? I've got mud under them or something. I'm always potting and stuff. These ones are doing very well. They're so deep green and lovely, aren't they? Look at them, aren't they wonderful? They'll just have to sort themselves out. They will. They're so green and lush. Look, there's a tomato. It'll probably be crowded out though. These are going to climb. We're going to have to put something for them to climb upwards as well as along the ground. But I'd be interested to see how they fare on the ground as well, without anything to climb up. So lush and green. Let's look at the Plumbago anyway. Just here behind it. Isn't it lovely? Look at it all. So lush and beautiful and blue. Look at that. Oh, that lovely Plumbago blossom. Well, they can be friends, can't they? Yes, my sentiments exactly. So green and lovely. Let's go and look at some of the other horned melon seedlings. This little melon grew up beside a forestry tree that I put in. I must have dropped a seed in the pot by accident. And a tomato seed as well. So I've got a little gumby tree here, but it's hidden by a horned melon and a tomato. That's what it's hidden by. It's well mulched though. It's way down in the paddock, and I'm bringing water down for it. It's growing very well indeed, and it will soon be climbing up this tree behind it. It'll be soon climbing up the elm tree behind it. It will. There's the elm tree behind it. It can climb up into those. It's got its tendrils and everything. It'll be alright as long as it gets extra water from me. It's so hot. I've mulched it though, to make it happy and to keep the water in. So all that straw will keep the moisture in. It will. And we'll have tomatoes as well, so a cucumber and tomato salad will be on the menu at some point. Speaking of tomato and cucumber salad, here's another horned melon growing with a tomato. Well, several horned melon seedlings. They can thin themselves out. Growing beside a tomato. Both of them again grew under a tree seedling. So we've got horned melons on both sides. Hopefully, if I bring water down for them, they'll grow and we'll have tomatoes and melons. I put seeds in different locations in the hope of getting any at all, because anything can happen to them, can't they? Anything can happen. They might have died from being eaten by the goat or anything. This is the official horned melon garden, but the unofficial ones are doing much better. These ones are soon going to need to be staked and netted, but they're doing alright. Those couple of specimens are doing very well. And there's a whole lot of seedlings all around here, but they're on a bit of a slope and they're they're falling behind the others. They're not getting enough water because it's running off this slope. I think last year, although the melons were on this location, I only had 4 of them. There were only 4 seedlings and they were planted in that hole. Where's that hole? That bit of a ditch there. And I think that ditch sort of acted like a basin and the water ran into it. I think that's why they were so lush and survived so well initially. There's a lot here. I've got a couple of dozen, I think, altogether. They're not growing very fast. The water's running off them. I'm going to have to get some straw and mulch them to keep the water in. It's only early December, so there's still time for them to grow. But they've fallen behind with that lot. This lot of melons has fallen behind because the water just runs off. So I've got my work cut out for me. I've got to get some wheelbarrow loads and bring lots of straw down. I've been keeping the water in, of course, but it just runs off. I did quite a lot of soil preparation. I dug in my manure and everything. It's the water problem more than anything, though. That's what it is. See you then.